Well, first thing I want to say is thanks, Oprah, for Dr. Oz. He's a real gem. And whoever sponsored this football nut out of Georgia, Herschel Walker, you know, I'm sorry. It'd be nice to hear some black people speak out against this low grade fucking moron. Yeah, it just shows you don't have to be very smart to be successful and make money in this country. You don't have to be a brain surgeon. I remember watching, seeing an old movie, The Pawnbroker, with can't think of the guy's name right now, but one of the better actors of the world, and this guy worked for him. Said, you're Jewish, man. How come you Jews all know how to make money? I mean, what's the deal, man? Blah blah blah. And the pawnbroker goes, well, you buy one piece of cloth, you tear it in half, then you sell those two pieces of cloth, and then with that money, you buy two pieces of cloth, and then you tear those in half, and then you sell four of those, and so on and so forth. And that's it. No brilliant anything, you know. Yeah, sure, you gotta have a product, but I mean, I've seen people selling crap that's just ridiculous. So, and then we got this J.D. Vance character. His hillbilly elegy or whatever, you know, I watched that movie and I thought, well, okay, movie. I'm real familiar. I lived in the South most of my life. I spent a great deal of my time out in California too. I even lived in New England for a bit, but for the bulk of from my late 20s until now, I have lived back in the South. I went back to California for 8 years in the late 80s and 90s. I was I got back just in time for Hurricane Katrina and um, all those other hurricanes that happened. There's a couple of years there, 2004, 2005. There were 6, 7 hurricanes that just ran through the South, ran through the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, and Texas, where they always go. So I forget what the hell I was talking about actually, but oh yeah, these ridiculous Republican races, and what is it with the media? That's all they want to. That's all they talk about are these Republican, 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 and even though they're trying to pretend like they don't like the Republicans on MSNBC and CNN. Of course, we on Fox. Forget it. They're just over there, doing themselves over the whole thing. And but that's all they talk about. Just blah 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 blah. Republicans. Blah 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 blah. Republicans. And then it's like, well, what are the Democrats going to do in the when the in 2020 slaughter come? They'll say words like that. It's like, shut up. Where do you assholes get off talking like that? It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I hope enough, uh, Democrats are and just well-minded people that are kind of regular people and sincere and have empathy for others, and maybe not you're not the kindest person in the world, but at least you think that kindness towards other people is a good thing, not a bad thing. Because I've never seen this whole Republican small amount of people. It's only maybe 30% of the Republican Party that are this radical. Now there's a whole other pile of them that are, what do we say, um, apathetic or, go along to get along. But really, it's a small minority of the country that are this hardcore, you know, Nazi, fascist, authoritarian. You know, unfortunately, they try the hardest. They are the loudest. Squeakiest wheel gets the oil. So it just always blows my mind that constantly, Republican this, Republican that. And because they get hits, because people watch it. You know, these Republican MAGA guys, they live for this stuff. They're sitting there waiting. How much money can I give you if you're gonna jump Trump? Uh, it's all pretty damn disappointing as far as I'm concerned. And really good-hearted people, um, they're just sit on their butts and don't do anything. You know, do something. Carry some signs. Now there's a lot of people getting out in the street over the abortion thing, and of course that's going to happen. Women have any progressive movement anywhere in the world that has really happened and taken hold. It's been the women that have spearheaded it, and they're giving it a damn good shot in this country, but they need some men to be there behind them and back them up, and that should definitely happen. Um, I'm going to do my best, and of course I'm in my 70s. I can barely walk around the frickin' block. But, I get up and I try every day. That's all I can do. I got a pretty bad ticker. There's not a hell of a lot I can do about it anymore. Medications and operations and all the shit that I've been through, all the money that I paid. I should be semi-wealthy guy, but 2008, kiss that off. And then when I did get my hands on some money, full-blown heart attack, I'd give it all to the, hospital system. Pretty crazy. Yeah, I'm not complaining too much. I mean, I'm alive and I'm happy, pretty much. My kids are all doing good. My two stepsons are doing great, and my daughter is just doing wonderfully. They're all doing good. And my wife and I, had a little bit of help from their grandparents, but we managed to get everyone that wanted to go to college, two of them, through college. One has a master's and one has a bachelor's, without any debt. And they have good jobs and are making a decent living. So, hey. And then some asshole here in Florida wants to turn around and tell a guy like me that's done nothing but work his butt off all his life, gotten his kids through college without any debt, never been on welfare, never stood in a line, never even collected unemployment insurance ever in my life. And I think I could have a couple of times. I just was, I'd go sleep in my car and eat some peanut butter. That was good. You know. So anyway, I'm just like an old man sitting here ranting, aren't I? I was gonna have a whole thing, but I had this whole list of like, wanting black folks to stand up and give this Herschel Walker guy shit, and somebody ought to at least, as much as I actually like Oprah, but she needs to be spanked a little bit for this Dr. Oz thing. I'm sorry. She gave this guy so much credence, and so much of his walking papers are based on, him sitting there on her show and going on and on about health and da 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 da. What a bunch of horseshit that turned out to be. He's just a flaming prick. Whatever. Everybody wants to get over. Like I said, it's just there's no real conspiracies. The only real conspiracies are greed, getting over on your brothers and sisters. That's pretty much it. So, anyway, I've had enough for tonight. I'm sure nobody really wants to hear this anyway, but I'm going to post it. What the hell? What do I got to lose? Anyway, adios, mofos, and I'll see y'all on the funny papers. Meanwhile,